Hi, I'm attorney Richard Boykin, and I'm running for Cook County Board President. Cook County is at a crossroads. President Preckwinkle has failed to keep us safe. Gun violence, carjacking, retail thefts, and other crimes have terrorized our neighborhoods, where our children are dying in the streets and families are not getting justice. As a former commissioner, I fought against the regressive soda tax, and we won. And I will make our neighborhoods safer. It's time for real change in Cook County. I ask for your support on June 28th.
Paid for by Friends of Richard Boykin.
Good evening and welcome to a special edition of the Drive at 5 on IntellectualRadio.com/iHeart radio station. I'm your host, Roman. We have a good show planned for you today. Please do not forget to stay tuned to IntellectualRadio.com/iHeart radio stations for Warriors Talk at 6 p.m. Tonight, my guests are community leaders and organizers in the Austin community. I can say that and beyond. To my right is Chris Thomas. Go ahead and say your organization, sir.
Hey, how you doing, everybody? I'm Chris Thomas, founder and executive director of Your Passion First. Appreciate you having me on, Ron.
And Selim 500.
Greetings, Celine 500, representing the House of Hip Hop, live from Thirstyville.
Okay, it's a lot going on, and welcome back, gentlemen, to the Drive at 5. It's a lot going on in the community, and we had to change format to have this discussion of what's going on with our youth today. Therefore, I posed this question in response to what happened on Saturday that carried into the dawning hours of Sunday morning. One killed and several were injured in the heart of downtown. So I'll start with you, Chris. What's going on with our Black youth, and why did it happen this way?
You know, there's a lot going on when we look at some of the challenges with our youth. I think the main thing is they've been kind of locked up for 2-3 years during this pandemic and not really had a chance to express themselves. Obviously experiencing a lot of anger from generational trauma, from current persistent traumas that they may have. And I think that they're just struggling. They need resources, they need support, they need more mentorship, and they need more opportunities to really feel loved and to know what a loving space is. And so we're really, looking to do that with our festivals, our workshops. But I think it really comes down to that is creating more safe spaces where they have the opportunity to interact, to engage, to have those access to those resources. But again, that loving environment is crucial. And sometimes that takes digging through to some of that trauma to get to the trust, to get to the love.
500.
Kind of the same thing with a little twist. I think a lot of people just met their parents and their family and their neighbors. They've been in the house so long, people don't really know each other. Now, I think they do know each other. And sometimes looking in the mirror and smelling your own feet and the person next to you makes you think about them different. And you start to learn closeness and not being in school, not being away and being trapped. All of the things that Chris talking about, the traumas, they knock off the walls in the house. So when you come outside, you release. And if nobody's giving you any way to relax or breathe, you're going to blow on somebody a different way.
Can 500, can you explain to me and our listening audience how Saturday's violence downtown escalated to the point that it became deadly?
You know what? I wasn't there, but what I can tell you is large crowds of people, it's always something. I didn't see what happened, but the things that I did see, I can only speak to, what do you call it, direction, positive direction, and people knowing where to go, what to do, and how to do it. And if you have nowhere to go, you're just going to go there. And you're allowed to go. So if you're allowed to go, somebody should have rules for you when you go there. So if you're at the beach, who's controlling the beach? You understand? So if I'm at the beach and it's hot today and 50,000 people show up, that's not the sand's fault. Who's supposed to protect the beach and the people at the beach?
Yeah, I think just probably putting better safety plans in place. Some things you just can't tell what's going to happen, especially when
Right.
it's the youth. It gets hot out. They want to get out there and wild out. But I think the police have to do a better job of having a plan in place
They were
to
just
ensure.
standing there.
Yeah, yeah. There's got to be a better plan than that. And again, they're youth. So does that mean we're tear gassing our youth, right? Does that mean we're
Right.
beanbagging our youth?
Right.
I don't know, but what
Well,
is
some people
what
will
is
argue desperate times come, desperate
I
measures.
agree. So what we have to find that balance. I do agree. I'm a former military police officer, so I do believe in levels of escalation.
Right.
We have to determine though, as a community, right? We can't be letting the system, right? Because the system will put us down, right?
Right.
So is that the way
To
that we want
go.
it to happen? Do we
Right.
want them to use regular bullets, or do we want rubber bullets, or what? Right? But having the community's input,
But
I
it's
think,
the
is
main
really
thing.
important to see what is that strategic plan look like? What does that safety action plan look like for when something like that does happen?
Well, what about grandma whoopings? What about that? The old
Well,
saying, sometimes it's like they're knuckleheads
but
out
that's
there,
yeah.
and it's like, come on, dude, you in this program. Some people are in programs, and it is not the organization's fault or anything, but these teens know right from wrong and wrong from right. They know what they're doing. Why we can't
Uh,
go back to the old days and say, if you F up, I'm gonna whoop your you know what. Is it time for that, 500? Is it time?
well, me, it never left with that. My parents were sharecroppers, and people were freedmen, and some people were children of slaves. So they read the old slave master Bible where they didn't spare no rod. So they got down on you. They come out the Mississippi Valley. So they didn't play with you because they came up top through the Great Migration, understanding that if you came up top and came from down south and didn't understand, you'll go back in a box or in the ground. So you talk to your children about what to do and what not to do when you go outside. And you can tell the difference of people who didn't talk to their children. So when those children mix, you have to find a way to make the leaders not be followers because they're not cool. You understand? Old school grandma tactics don't work if everybody don't understand them. Somebody got to stand on them. So when the kids go outside and you tell them what to do, they resonate with things that take care of them. See, grandma that smoke weed with them and drink beer with them don't resonate with them. But grandma that feed them and
Sometimes
smoke
they
cigarette,
turn on the grandma
this
that does stuff.
this you got to understand. It's not about turning on anybody. It's about understanding that that person gonna be there, the system gonna be there, and what affects them. They got too many stimulants going on. It's a lot of drugs that's twisted, a lot of stuff that's mixed up together. That when I talk to young people outside with no judgment, I think they grown people with some of the pressures that they have because they have things going on, bro, I never had in high school. They got these phones, they got this internet. It's like we used to get into a scrap and crack it, get it going, and it's over with. These kids can't live it down when they get mashed out in school.
Because
They
it's on social media.
because it's on social media. So once they have a fight or have a problem or something goes bad for them, it's just blown up and it's magnified. They can't heal from it. You see what I'm saying to you? It's too much, too fast, bro. So
So
I can't deal with it.
so you're represent youth organization. You're part of it. And let's say if you're in a situation, a boy got into it, and someone in your organization said, yeah, and I'm just being blunt, yeah, I saw your ass get whooped on social media, and it escalates from there. Your thoughts on that?
Um, I mean, obviously the ego comes into play, if you and you're saying my thoughts as a mentor or as the youth getting kind of bullied.
Well, let's get the youth out first and
Okay.
then go to the
Okay.
mentor.
So I think as a youth getting, but and I've seen it, right? Like I work in one of the toughest schools on the West Side, alternative school. And I've seen a kid get bullied, right? I've seen the teacher come up to me right after and be like, "Did you see that on the camera?" I didn't see nothing, right? And they had jumped him right there in the school, and it was because of a gang sign he threw up a year ago that they saw a picture of on somebody's social media.
Right.
And so, you know, it hurt my heart first and foremost. I think what we can do, and the best thing we can do, is continue to show love, right? Those kids, a kid that bullies a kid like that for something like that, he doesn't know how to love, and he has ego coming out. He's got
Right.
trauma coming out, and that's his way of demonstrating his man and his toughness, right? Because somebody that, mind you, the kid that threw up the guy, not he ain't the strongest kid, right?
Right,
So you
right.
pick on the weak kid, right? Because that's your way of getting your trauma out. And what
Yeah.
we have to do as mentors, right? And a segue, we have to support them better.
Right.
We have to support our youth better in the ways that we look at that trauma, in the ways that we show them how to express themselves, in the ways that we teach them to walk with integrity in their life.
Yes, sir.
You know, but in order to do that, you got to connect with them, right? And in order to connect, you got to listen.
You gotta listen to
And
him.
so, like, you know, it takes sometimes months just listening to a kid first before they feel a connection,
You could actually
before
talk
you
to
can
him.
offer any advice.
Period.
So, you know, again, I always bring it back to the safe spaces and making sure that we continue to foster that.
Your thoughts on that?
Hey man, I don't eat pork, so I'm gonna land me back on that. I believe what he said is the truth. Support, consistency, and constantly being there and letting them see no matter what happens, I'm gonna be me. You get to be you. They'll get to relax. You can't do a pull up and expect them to do what you said because you're grown. Just because of you older than me, don't mean you deserve respect from me. And I'm supposed to listen to you. Because so many grown people have lied to me. You have to prove to me that I'm going to be able to trust you. Because young people now know they are the most important things in the world. And they are not afraid to tell you because they're better educated than the last two generations.
I heard this before, and a youth told me this. I'm not scared to die.
Period.
I'm not scared. I'm not worried. If I'm out there, I'm gone, so be it. It is what it is. The nonchalant attitude of not being on this earth, and they don't give a damn. Looking at the video, seeing a 7-year-old amongst
Right.
16, 17, 18-year-old, 20, 21-year-olds outside. And I'm like, the number one thing, where's his parents? Then a guy tugged him, and I'm like, he's with him. Your thoughts on that, 500?
Day outside at the beach. That's what you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about what happened on Saturday. It was
Downtown. Oh, you know what? I saw some of the clips of people downtown moving around and the police moving them around. I'm not really sure what happened. So I don't want to speak to that specifically, but I do know I can't really speak to it because I didn't see it all. You know what I mean? But I do know everybody being outside and we need some type of protocol over the summer because this going to continuously keep happening.
what would be a reasonable protocol then?
For what?
I mean, do you think Lori Lightfoot, the mayor, basically said, okay, at 6 o'clock, Thursday, Sunday, if you're not supervised and you're in Millennium Park, it's over.
Right.
So your thoughts on that? Is that a right approach?
That sounds like curfew, martial law. That sounds like some like controlling me and not telling me and telling me what to do, which means I'm going to do what I want to do anyway, like they did the other day. So that's not going to work. That's not going to work. I think the community should actually stop for a second, take a breath and a moment of silence, really, and apologize to these children. Because these kids mad as hell, man.
For what?
Hey, man, Okay, look. I'm one of these kids, bro. I've been living in this city for 50 years, and the same people controlling it, they've been telling me the same lies too. And I've been working faithfully in these streets. Went to college, went to high school, did everything I supposed to do. And these people still lying to me, bro. So I'm not too far from these children. I'm listening to them. I'm watching them, and I'm watching the same people that told me at 25 on Chicago Avenue what was going to happen. It still ain't happened. And I'm 52 about to be. So when I turn 52 in January, Chicago Avenue will have some buildings go up. Because in 25 years, I ain't seen nothing. I've seen a lot of people talking. And these kids grew up with us. And they see us outside. And they like, Five, what's up? I'm telling them, I'm standing here looking at y'all. They watched last summer. All of them people fake on us and do nothing for the youth. They saw Chris outside. They saw me outside. They saw us. And they saw the people with the money not give it to us too.
Tell us about that.
You know, what you said initially to start this piece was that the young adult said, I have nothing to live for. I'm willing to die for anything, really is what it translates to. And we could put safety plans all day in place to keep people safe, but part of keeping someone safe is helping them see the value in themselves, right? And the value in their community. And in order to do that, I feel like there's some stepping stones that we have to do to bond together more as a community.
Yes, sir.
Like, give us some examples.
You know, we lost the community centers, we lost the block clubs, we lost the
basketball,
barbecues,
all of
we
that.
lost a lot through the pandemic. And even before the pandemic, it's like
It was getting
people were
tight.
starting to get lazy with that.
Right.
We didn't do any more door-to-door knocking. You know, there was a few grassroots organizations, you know, doing pop-ups around violence, but where is the opportunity to first of all connect these young adults where they are?
Exactly.
Right? They're already into music and art and entertainment and sports and culinary. We have to present more opportunities for them like that.
Period.
So when you say, do we block off the park at night? No, we have more youth events down there. We have more youth resources.
Period.
We have more music. We have more entertainment. We have more ways
Let
to
us
connect
correct it,
them
control
to
it.
opportunity.
Period.
Right? We don't need more police if we have more opportunities where they could see value in themselves and in their community.
Right.
Okay, you mentioned 500 to 5 the talking heads, right?
Okay.
You're tired of talking.
Right.
The money, there's a lot of money that's
Yes, sir.
out there.
Yes, sir. I
A
learned that
lot-
last summer. I learned that.
A lot of money that's out there.
Mhm.
And you said it's going to the wrong hands. Why?
Well, you know what? What I found out last summer, working really, really hard in the neighborhood for the last couple years, starting off with the Dr. Wilson stuff, I learned that money rolls up, down, around everywhere in Chicago. But the money that I care about is what's retained and given to the children. What I learned is, what do you call it? Administrative costs take up a lot of what goes on. You understand? So what I did notice, and this is what I did, I took my own money at the House of Hip Hop and matched Westside Health Authority last summer. So I could do my own programming. You understand? And bust my own move like that. So as they match, we go. And when they stopped matching, I kept moving because we already had pop courts. We did the thing on Madison. So we have real life spaces for young entrepreneurs to generate money now. Now they can have their t-shirts, they can have their business, they can come and talk and they can generate money. That's what Chris is talking about. Now we have spaces where we can pull up, they can do their music, they can do their art, they can cook food, we can have picnics and barbecue, and they can make money. And they can see, when they see me at the concert on stage with the superstars, they know when Chris tell them, hey man, we got some people coming through, they gonna come to his program. See, I don't want the money for the program. Chris needs the money for the program. But me and Chris met each other in the street like I saw you. I didn't meet you in no office. You saw me on the street, walking up Chicago Avenue. That's how we saw each other. You say, hey man, come on the show. We standing with community leaders talking about the neighborhood. What we talking about right now, we was doing that day. I met him in the street. I don't play with people in offices. If I know you working, you saw me in the street somewhere. You ain't met me in no office. Period.
So what is he saying? That are you saying people in the mayor's office that think they know every damn thing? They don't know every damn
I don't
thing.
think that that's the case. I think that, and again,
He
simply my
disagrees.
perspective.
He disagrees.
What you
know,
mean?
yeah.
What do
No,
you mean?
I
Well,
hear,
I see you grimacing.
Well, I just believe everybody is trying, but the resources. See, I'm in the street.
But trying in what way? I
Okay.
mean, I can say, this pen is trying to work, but it's not
Right.
going anywhere.
trying is lying, right?
Well, see, I look at it like this. I'm gonna tell you like this. This is just my personal experience. I see people where they are, and I see what they're doing. And they ask me what's going on over there. So when Shorty asked me what was going on, and I talked to Manny, I told Manny what was going on. So when the mayor pull up, she'll know what's going on Chicago Avenue if she asks me where I am. So if she asks you, you should tell her. For real. That's what we're doing on May 27th at the Caring Center. The young people are going to get a chance to tell people what they want. That's why we're organizing this stuff a different way. Now, the youth won't need to tear up things because they get a voice. They get to say, hey, look, old lady, old man, preacher, police officer, sit down and shut up. Let me talk. Now, that's what's going to happen. Mr. Brown, whoever the boss is, whoever the mayor is, whoever the preacher is, whoever the police officer is. These are the bosses in our neighborhood. Y'all say they the future, then sit down and listen and let them talk. Then we can hear something.
Is he right with that approach?
Yeah. I think let them talk. The kids are our future. A lot of times they don't have that seat at the table. What I don't want to say, the system is the system, right? And the system is always going to lack a bit of the connection, I think, at the grassroots level.
Period.
And that's just because it's the system and it's ran
That's how
by.
it's built.
That's the way it's built, right?
Right.
And so
But
we have to.
sometimes the system can be broken.
Well, see, you don't
we
have to
can
break it.
redefine our value.
Yeah.
You could try and fix a system. It's been 200 years. We've been trying to fix the system.
We don't fix that.
Right? We could redefine our value. If you look at music, what's the most highest rated genre?
Us.
Hip hop. Right? What's the most paid genre? Hip hop.
Us.
Right? When you look at some of the art out there, we create value within ourselves, and we have to focus on that value, because if we keep trying to change the system,
it's a waste of time. We don't do that, bro.
Yeah. So
we're in hip hop.
Okay. To me,
okay,
we're talking about social media.
Okay.
How is our youth organizing and creating these flash mobs going downtown to generate violent act? Just cause.
It's not hard. It's not hard to do that, man. It's not hard. Like, I don't think it's the how.
They're just more dedicated than you.
I think we know the why. I don't know.
What's the why, just in case we don't know?
From my perspective, I feel like kids want to have fun, and they don't think that stuff is really that big of a deal as a kid.
But one person got killed.
There's kids that go out and I unfortunately know that I have kids in my class that have been in jail for robbing and are out and still don't care. You know what I mean? And you have to care first, and that has to start within the home.
Man.
You got to care. You got to care. You got to have people around you that care.
So 500, how can a parent get involved in curbing these flash mobs that can turn deadly?
I think we need a history lesson, first off, because y'all got to take this back a little further. This didn't just start. These kids are really smart. They know how to work the internet. They know how to do a lot of things that parents don't know how to do. Parents need to catch up or get lost or left. like anything else. You cannot give me 5 gadgets that cost $1,000 and expect me not to use them. So when you give them the future and tell them what to do, and they just play with it, they're gonna be better than you.
So why not turn a negative into a positive?
Who said it was negative?
I think you have to figure out what to do with it.
Right. It's
How
not
do you
negative.
take the tool and make sure that you're
Period.
like, and I'm even guilty of this, right? Like my son, he's on his iPad quite often, and I'm trying to get him to transition over to editing, right? Because you're on YouTube, that's not creating value. You giving someone else value.
Exactly.
How do you make your own value, right? So like, you have to figure out how to use the tool. But when it comes to these flash mobs, man, again, if we give kids something to do,
they won't do that.
Stupid
they
stuff.
Won't do that.
That's on the parents. They should have them signed up for things. They should be showing them, hey, there's this event you can go
May
to.
27th,
if not, connect them with mentors.
Period.
Okay, I want to push back on that.
Okay.
All right.
Come on.
I hear this all the time for single parents, especially single mothers.
Okay.
I work 16 hours. The father is not there.
Okay.
I have a teenage son out of control. It's either a roof over my head or take care of him. What I need to do? I need to survive. I can't choose. So you're saying sign him up for a program, but after the program is over, I'm not able to pick him up. The father is MIA. Then on top of that, I can't be everywhere at once. Then we're going to pivot to the grandmoms.
That's what
The grandmoms. We got a system that's called DCFS. And I'm not a betting man, but I'm willing to bet that if not majority, at least half are the ward of the state.
Okay.
And they are being tossed out on the street like 40 going north. You talk about somebody that don't give a damn. WGN had a special on that. Nothing. Crickets on that.
All right.
And 500, to your point, the children are reacting because they know that the adults don't care.
All right, man, they know it's about the paper. So once you teach them what it is and they become educated and they 8, 9, 10 years old, they on their own, bro. They wards of the state. Ain't nobody looking out for them. They 10. They got to go eat. They got to go get it. They know they got to plan their own future. And in their future, I got 5 years to live or hit the joint before I get it popping. So I'm going to get mine right now.
So grandmom is not 60 anymore.
No, she's
grandmom
30 and 35.
Is 25 and up. And they are giving them parenting without taking any type of classes. You're saying opportunity. No parenting classes, no nothing.
We can't do it like that, though. We got to put this.
You got to move up to the mic.
We got to put it in perspective, though. We got to go back a little further, bro. Because the children that are 10, 15, anything under 18, again, apology, and it's something else going on. You can't blame all of this on them. We did this.
What is the apology?
The apology is we gave you a horrible situation to deal with, and we never dealt with our own traumas. We never dealt with our own understanding of our ancestral line of not dealing with what goes on and passing it to them. So they didn't have a good situation to deal with. What I could tell you is, as a young man that fought my way to go to college and leave here and come back, a lot of people helped us that played basketball, that talked to us, but a lot of people didn't get to make it. And some of the best people I ever saw play basketball and football never played in school. We saw some great basketball players come out of Chicago, but it was better ones on the outside. So we know this. As we communicate and go back and forth, we got to recognize greatness when we see it. It can't just be in school. It can't just be in a newspaper. A person like Chris could probably tell you great people he runs into outside that won't get no recognition. These people need to be talked to, but we as a community used to like raise each other. If you did something to lay down the street, to tell your mama. Or tell your grandma. People are afraid to talk to each other and connect because it's so much. Don't talk to my child, and they change the rules. When you change the rules in the household and you change it from our families, and it went into the single family project mode for the last 50 years, you got to put it on that. That separate the family, that change the structure, and these
Well,
children.
some people say in the projects it was blacks were more closer than ever.
That's what I'm saying to you, but I said the structure that goes with the money, not the people. We're not talking
Okay.
about the people. Our people tight as ever. Our problem is that structure about that money. So the next generation of young people past my age group that got to the checks, their children are left a little different than ours were. You feel what I'm saying to you? They're a little longer. They got more TV. They got more cereal. They got more McDonald's. They got more Wendy's. They got more poisons by the time they 10, and they already infected in their brain with all of the processed food. When you add all of that together with the stimulation of the bad drugs and the pressure, you got people that's 10 and 12 years old that's physically, they can go to the doctor and you think they 25 or 30. You got young people that's living old lives. They've eaten food since they were born. That's bad for them. We didn't start like that. Yeah, I remember they starting off bad, bro.
Your thoughts on that?
I'm just glad I'm old living a young life.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
You know,
Man.
you know, I don't know if I have any thoughts, man. I think
Right.
he kind of summed it all up.
But let me put it this way.
Yeah.
Do you think, because this was mentioned on the news, if you start the curfew, it's going to be a war between the police? It gives the police the opportunity to start profiling. It will give the police. And do you think right now, my question, today's black youth do not respect the Chicago Police
They
Department?
don't respect anybody. A lot. I don't want to speak for the whole population, but the ones that we're most worried about, it's not just not respecting the police. They don't respect the people around them. They don't respect their teachers. They don't respect their family. So I don't think it's just the
But how did
police.
we get to that point, though? How did we get to that point? We said this and sell him, but this question goes
Right.
directly to him. But I
Okay.
want you to respond after
Okay.
he finished. He said something that was key. He said, in order to get respect, you must earn respect. And that's kind of like coded in the street. But I told him, I said, brother, I mean, I shouldn't have to earn your respect. I don't know you.
Yeah.
It should come automatic until I do something to you.
I don't know. I think that that's the way I was raised, right? My mom said always trust everybody, but I grew up to be like, you got to give me a reason because I've been burned too much.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I feel like when I meet someone, I'm always looking for a way to be like, hey, are they a person of integrity?
Right.
Like, I got to see what you're going to do first, you know? And I've been in recruiting in HR for 12 years, and I still look at those same things of how do you build trust with someone? How do you build connection? You know what I mean? And I think that's just a process.
Yeah. Hey, man, I do it the weirdest way in the street. I just tell the truth. And that's the weirdest thing because everybody lie, cheat, and steal in the street. See, I'm known in the streets of Chicago. All the places where I go, I just tell the truth. I walk where I want to walk and do what I want to do because I'm there to do that.
Be real. Yeah.
I'm there to do that. They know when they see me, this ain't no, hey, Vice Lord, GD, Gangster, all love, Cobra, Stone, what's happening? I'm on the block to clean up. I'm on the block to do what I'm doing. I'm on Aboriginal black man time. I don't get no problems with no gangs, bro. I've been to LA, Texas, everywhere. So when you're a man and you're a man of what you do and you look like you look and you represent your people, they don't bother you because you coming to bring something. I'm not looking down on nobody. You understand? We come like we come. Flat out. It's hard out here, bro. It's hard.
But let's say you come to bring stuff, but they want to take from you.
If you brought it to give it to them, then give it to them. With no strings. Here go the food. Here go the money. Here go the shoes. I don't need you to come do 50 things and do split for me and do something strange for change when the lights go out. You dig?
But don't you think, Chris, that sometimes There's strings attached to an organization that's giving out food. There's string attached when the church gives out food baskets.
Yeah,
Is
somebody got
is
to work.
is
When you say strings attached, though, like, we give out food twice a month with Pastor Mac, both at the lodge hall and at the church. I don't expect nothing from people. I
Take the
want
food
them
and
to
go.
go tell more people, and so
Come
we
get the
can get
food and
more
go.
food out,
Right.
but like, to me, there's no strings attached there. Come back for more food or
That's
don't.
it.
I think when you're offering a resource to somebody, I they gotta be able to want it and be in a place to want it. And you can't take it personal if they don't want it. I think you just gotta be there
Right.
supportive, whether it be a
Right.
young adult, a
Right.
person older, people are stubborn. If you're truly the support that you say you are, then
Just
you're
give
gonna
it
be
to
there
them.
regardless.
Mhm.
You know?
So I'm gonna ask this question, and I ask this question over and over again. Um, and it's puzzling me. So I'm gonna ask you, since you guys are community organizers. I asked T.O. Hardeman, I asked Charles Thomas this last week,
Okay.
and they said it's something to look at. Now I'm gonna ask you. Um, are we purging on the streets of Chicago? Are we purging? Are we seriously looking at the movie The Purge? Are we purging out there? When the sun goes down, you're talking about innocent people being killed, and it's a domino effect. Nobody ain't doing nothing. It's not like the bullets is gone. We intend to
Hmm.
shoot that person. No, we intend because we felt like it.
So you say, are the police purging, or is the community, or
I'm saying, are the youth? Is the youth purging? Is the youth purging out there?
yeah? I think in some ways, right? Like the pandemic. You got kids that went through half their high school and never met their classmates, right?
Right.
Never had a chance to
Right.
connect socially,
Right.
right? Emotionally. Don't know what it means to go out and meet people and go to job interviews. And so then where does all that energy go? They didn't have gym class. Oh, go do gym outside on your own, right? Bring your iPad out there.
Right.
So then where do we direct all of that energy? It's got to go somewhere. And if we're not giving them events and things to pop up to, and resources and pop-ups on every block,
On everyone.
then
They gonna
they're
use-
gonna purge somewhere. They're gonna go and have to get that energy out somewhere. So it's on us to figure out what that looks like.
Right.
Your thoughts?
Heaven and hell and purgatory is in the middle. So if purging is like what purgatory is to me, because that's what I hear when I hear that word. We in it. So as is stated in the Most High's books, in the Holy Scriptures and the scrolls, hey man, it's gonna repeat itself. So the children are a reflection of the community and the village. So whatever our children are doing, we taught it to them. We are monsters, so they are monsters. We taught them to kill, we taught them to steal, and they lie and cheat, just like Chicago taught them. When I grew up on the newspapers, the priest went to jail, the governor went to jail, the congressman went to jail, the preacher was messing with kids, the people stole the money from the school. So who do you trust, bruh? Who you trust? You understand? You trust who you see, you trust who feeds you. So I don't know what nobody talking about. These kids should not trust them. They should prove it. They should trust their parents. They should trust the people around them and the people that step up and prove what they say and do it. Period.
Some people don't trust their parents. There are some youth that don't trust their parents because the parent. It goes back to what I said last week. Babies are raising babies. We just had this conversation a couple of
Right.
moments ago that grandmom is
25, 30,
25, 26, maybe even younger.
So that's the same thing. We cannot point fingers. We got to be better 50-year-olds then, so we can support the 75-year-olds who are tired of us.
So what about reality shows? Do they play a blame
All
to
of
it?
that.
Rap music, does that play a blame to it? I mean, because it's dark. everything.
Yes, sir.
So, like I said, I talked to a couple of people, and they said, well, um, I'll just be blunt. Talked to a couple of white guys,
Okay.
and they basically felt like they could be candid with me. And they said, oh, well, we think black women are easy. We think black women are this and black women are that. And I was like, whoa. So, me, I did say, I made a promise, but yeah, I wanted to punch the living what out of him. But he said the dynamic is rap music, the dynamic is reality television. This is how, when you're outside of the United States of America,
That's your view.
that's their view of
Right.
us.
Well, I understand that because
That's their view. And sometimes when people who are in the suburbs that doesn't associate with black culture,
Mhm.
that's their view of us. Do you think it's time for us to say, hey, what's that? Birds from Escape? Put an end to this crap.
Mm.
Kick off your shoes somewhere else.
I think that that's our view because that's what makes money,
Right.
and that is what the system has kind of taken control over, but allowed us to have a little bit of, right? In my opinion, right, with entertainment. I think all we can do is continue to create value for ourselves. There's a lot. You mentioned Chicago, Madison, some of the streets where there's challenges doing that because of the politics, right? You're looking for buildings to go out, looking for change to happen for years. We have to come together as a community, I think, to just do that more, build better relationships, and build more trust so that people can feel that comfort to create that change.
Go ahead, 500.
Hey, man, I like Chris because he talks well. Let me tell you something. Check this out.
You know how to turn a serious conversation.
Yeah, because hey man, because he knows how to do it. That's why I like people like him. Because when I talk, he articulates it to the point where it's palatable for people that do business to do it, and them shorties know we ain't faking, both of us. You see what I'm saying? He gonna make it real smooth. I'm gonna tell you like this: these kids are smarter than us and they're richer than us. Okay. Period. So if we want to do something, we need to be their partners. And that's where the old people getting it messed up. That's why they mad. They really haters. Because they don't have no money and no power and they old and can't do shit no more.
Usually the old people hold the purse strings.
Yeah, that's over with though.
And they disseminate.
That's their problem because that don't work. That means you got to work harder. Now your money don't work. We know you don't know what to do and you're broke. And you're getting money from the government. So they tell you what to do. We get our own money. We entrepreneurs. We run rap. We run music. We run TV. We can get our own money. We don't need y'all. So that's why the older people are mad. What they need to do is come to the table and be partners with us.
I want to say this, and I said this a while back. Should there be a ban on Grand Theft Auto? Because the world of make-believe is turning into reality on the streets of Chicago. The reason I'm saying that is because during the pandemic, everybody and their mama was playing Grand Theft Auto that was young.
Yeah, y'all should have taxed them.
And everyone, the way they can set up crime scenes, how they can kill someone,
right?
How they can drag race, how
Grand Theft Auto,
yes, all on a game, and then you're out in reality, and they want to imitate what they do in a video game. Your thoughts on that? I'll start with you, 500. Should it be a ban on Grand Theft Auto?
We need to teach our children programming and editing and technology and build media centers, okay? Media controls our lives and the visuals and the moving pictures get us activated. The only way to deal with that is to teach our children how to manipulate those things for themselves so they can program what we want to program for them. They're going to buy whatever is out there. If we can't program If we can't make those systems, if we can't build those computers, we can't do anything but keep talking and bumping our gums. They're going to keep selling us what they want to sell us, bro. If we don't learn how to program and make those computer games and change them now with the ones that's 4, 5, and 6, and 7 right now, programming, we won't win this war. We're behind. We're playing games, like he said about this. Got to edit, not get on YouTube. Edit on YouTube. Edit on the MacBook Pro. Edit on the iPhone. Shoot your footage and edit. Don't watch someone else's and make them have value for TikTok. Make you have value for TikTok. Make TikTok come pay you like they did Young Thug and Gunna. They paid them to do their content. They paid them to be on Billboard and sell millions of words. You understand? This is not no joke, bro. These white people do not come to our children for nothing. They are worth billions. Y'all better pay attention, because they paying attention. While they telling you we ain't paying attention, they getting money off our kids.
Your thoughts?
You could spend a lot of money to ban a game, but that's not going to change the parents and change the environment, you know? We have to do a better job of parenting, and if we're not doing a good job of parenting and not connecting with our kids, we have to know that and do our best to find another voice of reason, another mentor, another, you know, if you don't have a father figure in the household, find a male mentor. There's a ton, I'm one of them. There's a ton of male mentor organizations out there. And so we have to want it to be better. And then you have to want to ask for help. But we can't blame a game, because there's going to be plenty more games and plenty more negative opportunities that our kids are going to be put in front of. We have to teach them, hey, that's a game. Here's life. And here's the expectations that we have for you as your parents or as your supporters, because there's going to be plenty more games.
Plus, the game is not lying. Everything on that game happens outside. So I said something about that game when it first came out. We did a test for that game when it first came out. Def Jam had some other stuff. When Jesus them had this other video game, we did the test. I played that game. I played it one time. I had so much fun playing that game. I was ashamed, literally, because I'm this type of person. I cried. You understand? I cried.
And also,
and I told my
it's
son,
it's not just.
Let's finish this real quick.
Go ahead.
That game is really emotional. Because, see, I learned the streets from the streets. And I cried when I played that game, because that game was going to teach my son the game, and he shouldn't know these things that early. That game gives you the game. And if you have no game, your children got more game than you. And they're going to chop it on your head, and they're going to feed it to you.
Grand Theft Auto also has a component to it that basically can turn into pornography.
Yes.
Very easy.
Like a pornography mode?
Yes.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Buy hookers.
Yeah.
Buy drugs.
Buy drugs.
Shoot,
All
it's
of this
tripped
is
out.
on Grand Theft
I
Auto.
promise you I cried.
So so it goes back to what I said when you mention fathers, mentors, and I hear a lot, and I'm saying from my experience, I'm not saying for anybody, my experience with some Black women, not all, some. I don't need no man. I don't need no man to raise my baby. I don't need no man to do this. I'm doing this myself, and I'm going to keep on doing this, sugar, honey, iced tea, myself. I don't need a man. You say to that.
I mean, it hurts my heart, first of all, to hear that. I am a huge proponent of fathers' rights, you know, and I deal daily to this day with stuff with my son's mother, and he needs his mom as much as he needs me. And anyone that says that has been hurt a lot. Anyone that says that he don't need a father, they've been hurt a lot, because anyone in their sane mind knows that any male on this earth and any female on this earth need their mom and their dad. Now, I say that with the caveat that I have another situation in my family where I have a family member who maybe shouldn't be around his dad, right? Because of the influence and
Right.
the negativity that it portrays. And so in that same situation, I have to ask myself, does he need his father in that moment? Um, I do think that is the case, that every boy and girl on this earth needs their parents unless they've been hurt by them, and then we
Right.
have to take it upon ourselves as the other parent or the other family members to find and create a more fostering and trusting environment.
Your thoughts?
Man, you know what? I'm gonna find some kids and send them to you. For real. Because the way you think and the way you talk, uh, man, it make me feel like I need to come with you.
I appreciate that, bro.
Real talk. Because I'm scarred. Straight up. Man. Huh. You just hit me with something. All I can tell you is this. Being a person that really understands this stuff, I take it emotional, which is why I don't do it for money. I never did it for money. And know everybody to get it plugged and get it moving, because we out here for real. And if these people don't stop, I'm telling you, these kids is really pissed off just like we were. But what I did was, my father was such a dude in Austin. He fought with us by letting us come to the house, play basketball, listen to his records. He let all kind of boys in Austin and girls come to our house. Because he told me this: you're going to lead a lot of people, and you're not going to do it wrong. And they're going to kill you in them streets. So he gave us a safe place. And for us, Austin, what we call Thirstyville, was our home. And a lot of the stuff can change if people just stop lying. Just stop lying, man, and tell the truth. And come outside. Come outside. Clean up the block, clean up the alley, and tell these shorties they ain't got no power. They really can't do nothing themselves. And if we don't work together, we fucked. Only way this gonna work. Because them kids know y'all don't really have no power. And they telling y'all what to do. So if you want me to do something you want me to do, you need to tell me what's really going on. My father told me the truth. We got work to do. Roll your sleeves up, handle your business. Hold on. 5 generations of black men been in my family. Never saw a man not in my household. So I'm not a kid that's not understanding what this means. Generationally, legacy has to pass to our children from people that understand, have the ability to humble themselves and say that they don't know what's going on. Because if you act like you know everything, you have everything, then why it's not fixed? Why is it so messed up? You understand? So that humbleness comes from a child when he comes in a room and knows the truth and wonders why people just don't share. It's a lot of food right there. He hungry. Give him some. That's simple. It ain't that complicated. So when children come in the room and make the decisions that grown people can't, this is why I cry. Because if that baby can tell you just share, all can eat, then you should know as a grown-up, stop taking it all and share. And everybody could eat. See, babies know this in 3rd and 4th grade. They know this at 5 years old. If there's food on the table, there's some drinks over there. If they're in Christian class, they learn to share. So as we start to share, they share. They see us being selfish, so they be selfish.
Very quickly, please give intellectualradio.com/iHeartRadio station where they can get a hold of you.
Yeah, all platforms at Your Passion First.
Y'all better
It's Your
do this.
Passion, the number 1 ST. You can also find us on www.yourpassionfirst.com.
Sell them.
You can find me outside in the street, man. For the next 2-3 weeks, we're gonna be outside trying to stop these kids from killing each other. Memorial Weekend, meet us at the Caring Center, the 27th, Madison and Chicago Avenue. We there.
All right.
Outside.
Thanks to Earl Winfrey, our executive producer, Wanda, who's behind the scenes. You guys have a wonderful week, everyone.
I'm Attorney Richard Boykin, and I'm running for Cook County Board President. Cook County is at a crossroads. President Preckwinkle has failed to keep us safe. Gun violence, carjacking, retail thefts, and other crimes have terrorized our neighborhoods, where our children are dying in the streets and families are not getting justice. As a former commissioner, I fought against the regressive soda tax, and we won. And I will make our neighborhoods safer. It's time for real change in Cook County. I ask for your support on June 28th.
Paid for by Friends of Richard Boykin.